Good morning, everyone. This is Mike O'Malley here with the Hurricane Outlook and discussion for November 7th, 2022, around 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We have a lot to talk about this morning, including Tropical Storm Nicole that has formed in the Atlantic Basin. It is expected to become a hurricane near Florida, so let's go and jump straight into everything. Taking a wide look across the tropical Atlantic today, we have two systems out there. First of all, Invest 97L. This is declining in its probability for developing into a tropical cyclone. And then we have Subtropical Storm Nicole that is now likely to become a hurricane as it nears the Florida Peninsula. Taking a look at Tropical Storm Nicole this morning, or Subtropical Storm Nicole that is, the system is still rather disorganized at the moment and is producing a large area of shower and thunderstorm activity well removed from the circulation. However, we do notice on the track it is expected to consolidate as it heads westward over the next couple of days. And now there is hurricane watches that have been hoisted for the majority of the southern Florida peninsula and the Bahamas, and a tropical storm watch through portions of southeastern Georgia, as this is expected to bring a wide amount of impacts, a wide range of impacts to multiple locations besides just Florida. So if we take a look here at the zoomed in track here, we can tell that we do have, again, those hurricane watches that have been hoisted for portions of the Florida Peninsula. This really covers right now from the Volusia-Brevard County line down south towards about Palm Bay and Miami. Then the track forecast from here, we can see this moves inland very close to Tampa, Orlando, Arcadia, some of these areas. And we can see the wind field. It is expected to be extensive. And so almost all of the Florida Peninsula is expected to receive tropical storm force conditions, with, of course, the heavier wind being towards the center. But I do stress that this is going to be a very large system, so do not focus exactly where the track will move. So now turning our attention to the 10-meter wind and mean sea level pressure forecast off of the GFS, we notice how the system interacts with a ridge of high pressure to the north, so it's going to bend back west and southwest. Days of onshore flow beginning today into tonight across portions of the Florida Peninsula and most of the southeast coast. This makes landfall sometime late Wednesday or early Thursday morning, and then this has the potential to cross back into the Gulf of Mexico as potentially a strong tropical storm, maybe even a low-end hurricane, but right now it seems like that this is going to be a problem for several days. In terms of the overall steering component, in terms of where the system might end up going and why, well, we can look at several different things. We're looking at the 500 millibar height here off the GFS, and we notice one of the main reasons why is because this big ridge of high pressure building in across the U.S., that's going to force our system westward over the next few days. And then we're going to have to watch for this trough sliding eastward up there in the top left corner of the screen. And so if we go ahead and roll this forward, we notice that it slides, that ridge slides eastward. Our storm is now forced continuously westward and moving potentially into the Gulf. And then we've got that trough sliding eastward. And this is going to be then responsible for picking our system up towards the end. So if we continue to run this forward, we notice that by the end here, about 99 hours from now, we've got that trough, that cold front and warm front location there. Big ridge of high pressure off towards the east, but now our storm is able to actually start gaining latitude. And so this is when it's going to get kicked up. And once it does, this thing is going to move rather quickly on out of here. So probably by Friday into this weekend, I think conditions will improve for Florida. And then looking at the shear forecast for this particular system, we notice that the shear will remain relatively light for several days. It isn't really until this system starts to approach Florida that the shear will begin to increase, and we can see by the time this enters the Gulf of Mexico, there will be pretty strong shear over top of where this system would have made landfall. And so there will be increasing shear, which is going to put a cap on the theoretical maximum potential intensity for the system. But I do think, and of course, backed up by NHC, I do think this will become a hurricane. I would say the maximum intensity this could get probably 80 or 85 miles per hour, probably nothing stronger. And although this system won't be as strong, it will be a pretty wide system. And we can see off the wind gust forecast, according to the GFS here, that this is going to bring a wide range of impacts, including dangerous wind for several areas. We can see here close down to Lake Okeechobee, we're dealing with 60 mile per hour winds, 50 up there in Orlando, 35 up near Pensacola, 26 down there in Miami, 35 near Savannah, Georgia. This is going to be a wide system, and with this being such a wide system, tropical storm impacts and conditions will extend well away from the circulation center and core, which is why I emphasize do not focus on the exact track. Impacts will extend well away, so focus on those more. In terms of the impacts from Tropical Storm, probably Hurricane Nicole to the Florida coastline, right now we're looking at the highest threats being the flooding, storm surge, with a moderate risk now of wind damage. And the reason for this increase with the wind damage threat is mainly because now we could be seeing some of those 75, 80 mile per hour winds moving inland across portions of Florida and of course right along the coast, with this now being elevated to a potential hurricane. The tornado threat still remains low right now, although again, this is on the higher end of that low category. But again, my main concerns is going to be that flooding, storm surge, beach erosion threat. Those extend well away from the circulation. Those are going to extend several hundred miles to the north. And so this is going to be a wide system, and it's important to focus on the threats, especially near the coast, and that flooding and storm surge risk. So with that being said, of course, I hope you have a great rest of your morning and early afternoon. I am Mike O'Malley, and I'll be talking to you guys again some more later today.